Glenn Parker High Vibration Foundation. You are also watching Glenn TV. Forgive the sombrero here, little beanie. I'm hot, I'm cold. There's just, for some reason, like, something's running through my system and it's just not quite right. So it's like 100 something outside, it's 70 something inside, and it's just all crazy up in here. So on with the show. I have been experimenting with this idea of regenerating unconditional love, and I'll preface this by saying that I lost it altogether for weeks upon weeks. I was tired, I was cranky, anxiety, and it was effectively from smoking some pot. And I smoked here and there. I'm a very sensitive butterfly, and it just threw me off altogether. I had a cold, and I was very tired and fatigued, and I was very angry for a couple days, and when I don't smoke any pot, and I don't drink really at all. The last time I drank was a very long time ago. In any case, I barely smoke pot for obvious reasons that are presenting themselves. So it's been over 3 weeks now. I feel better, and I've had some sense of unconditional love coming back. So keeping the body pure, in my case, is really important. And the fact that maybe THC brings me to a vibration that's lower than where I am right now is also a possibility. So really the idea is regenerating unconditional love. So I tried an experiment. I had dropped my car off to get an oil change and some wiper blades and other things, and they were busy. They said, well, it'll be about an hour and a half. I'm like, seriously, for an oil change and to get a couple wiper blades? Like, seriously, this is be all busy up in this place. So I actually just took a walk, and I walked like several city blocks, like probably 4 or 5 miles there and back. And I wandered around and I was looking at different things. And while I was walking, my phone had died. So no entertainment, no listening to YouTube videos or anything like that. So I was experimenting with this idea of regenerating unconditional love and seeing myself as an immortal being and everyone else as an immortal being, and recognizing that they were other aspects of all that is as I am. And by doing this repeatedly all throughout the day, when I got home later, I was watching some TV, and then you see these interrelationships where somebody sacrificed something for someone else, maybe a daughter for a mother for a daughter, these types of things, and then whoa, some unconditional love came in because of this recognition that we were playing this great game, that you're an immortal being in a timeless reality like I am. And we were playing a great game called Earth, and we chose to forget that we were immortal so that we can play a game. If you had come in full recognition that you were an immortal being in a timeless reality, you would never want to harm anybody, you wouldn't kick your little brother out of the tree, you wouldn't take his candy bar, you wouldn't sleep with your best friend's wife, whatever it happens to be, alright? But because you allowed yourself to forget and play this great game, you were able to do all these interactions and experience something that an immortal being can never experience. The idea of death, the idea of pain, the idea of, sacrifice and limits, and having some kind of limitation, whether it be monetarily, or, you need a car to go somewhere, or you need this much money to be able to buy this type of food, or to get a bracelet, or, get an education so that you could do this and that you could do that. Because as an immortal being, you know everything. So you differentiated yourself down to have this unique, differentiated experience. And by experimenting with the idea of recognizing that you're an immortal being in a timeless reality, playing a great game with a whole bunch of your friends, it really does bring and regenerate this idea of unconditional love. And I played with this for a better part of a day, and some of today. And even just sitting and thinking about that idea and being in full recognition of it, I can feel like the hair on the back of my neck like raise, like there's just all this energy from this idea of this recognition rushing through. So I encourage you to entertain the same idea, even if you're watching this video and you go, shenanigans, that's just shenanigans, I don't believe in any of that stuff. I invite you to experiment with the idea and just see what it brings in your life, and experiment with it as an idea. I had somebody come to the door that was very religious, that go door to door, and they're like, oh, we would like to tell you about so-and-so and so-and-so. I'm like, well, may I tell you what I believe? And I'm like, well, of course. And, I conveyed what I just conveyed to you, and they're like, wow, what religion or what theology is that? I'm like, none. It is an idea. It's something to toy around with. It's something to have as a concept. Because I didn't really want to get into it, that this was the structure of nature. And this is what you really are. Because that was so far differentiated from their current belief systems, but it was a seed, put a little seed in there for them just to think about that as an idea. So I invite you to that same idea. Just toy around with that idea if it feels exciting to you. So that's what I wanted to share. Keeping the body really clean. I had some detox tea. I've been pounding. I have a little bit left. Like a bit of detox tea. Cheers. It's in a beer stein too. That helps tremendously. There's Arco in there and a whole bunch of mixture of things, which impedes yeast, and these other things cleanse out the liver and the colon and whatnot. And I find that really, really, really helpful to have a bit of that on almost a daily basis, at least for me, because I am a sensitive butterfly. To not be able to smoke just a little bit. And I'm not talking like smoking bowls upon bowls of pot. I had like something, like a little teeny tiny thing. And to be quite frank, after this last time I got sick, I took all the weed that people gave me, because I don't buy any myself. People just happened to give it to me. And I gave it to a neighbor down the street that I know smokes. And like, here. It's like, I want it away from me. No temptation in my house. Not that it's tempting now, because to go back and do that is like, it hurts, Brendel-fly, to smoke anything. Now, the one thing I did have in the way of an idea of a baked good was there's somebody out in Pahrump that makes special honey, and those have to be some happy bees. He gave me like a couple little sticks, like you would get at any store, like a little stick of honey. And I had a couple of those. I was like, ooh, that was nice. And it wasn't like, oh, hey, man, drilling on myself. And I didn't feel any ramifications. So the bees purified it, filtered out any crap. Because, there's no smoking, there's no, like, carcinogens, there's no tar and all that crap going into your body. So it was just basically THC left over and all the other goodies that come along with it. And the honey was damn tasty too. I think I forgot the type of flower that they were adding to it to produce the honey, because it wasn't just the plants, the marijuana plants, it was another flower. He wouldn't really tell me a lot. I asked a lot of questions, because curious thing. I'm like, so how do you get the bees isolated into this area? So that they only buzz around your plants and do their thing and bring the good stuff back and make you some special honey. So in any case, he wasn't really forthcoming on that, but I just wanted to share this, and I wanted to share the idea that you are an immortal being in a timeless reality, that you are now awakening to that idea, and I'm happy to be that reflection for you, just to introduce that idea, even if that's all we interact in this lifetime. You watch my video once and you go, bah humbug. That is our interaction in this lifetime. That is our agreement. Thank you again for joining me. It is Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. You are watching Glenn TV. Coaching, life, business, and spiritual. Also retreats. Boys and girls, don't forget retreats. Down below in the description, there's tons of things going on. Probably too many things going on, but my production company and all the production projects are in there. Links to my websites. Email address for direct contact if you have questions or queries, or you want to say, you just be crazy. All these types of ideas are down there, so go check those out. Now, follow the link with your heart, not with your mind. So, go through the links that are in here and click on the one that speaks to you, and you'll find the information you were looking for in this lifetime. And if you do like this video, please do like, subscribe, and share. And in the idea of regenerating unconditional love, when I do these things, that is what I'm thinking of. I'm actually focusing on that idea and calling forth as much energy as I can in that moment to convey through the video. Thank you for joining me.